What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another episode of 30 NSG. On today's show, we're going to be talking about PlayStation Interactive Entertainment announces that the program is coming to an end. The rewards program is coming to an end, so we'll talk about that real fast. We're talking about Microsoft has begun sending out refunds for the Bite Back Edition for Redfall. We're going to talk about PAX Dei, the MMO, criticized for $100 launch edition and early access. We'll talk about that. And then we're going to watch a video from our buddy Kingard. He had a video about a month ago talking about the dark side of digital media. So we're going to watch that. And then there's another video from Carnage. It's called The Future of Game Development. So we're going to watch that as well. If you like what we do here, we cover news stories, videos, have conversations about it with chat live, give you my thoughts and opinions on these articles and videos live. If you like that, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. What's going on, Behemoth Titan? What's going on, Robert Jones? So that is what we are doing on today's show. So the first story that we have up is it literally just came in. Sony Rewards program is coming to an end on December 31st, 2024. This is not really a conversation. This is more like a public service announcement to let people know if you're on Sony and you're doing the reward program that it is coming to an end on December 31st, 2024. It says Sony Interactive Entertainment has announced that it's ending its Sony Rewards program on December 31st, 2024. As a result, the date will be the last time possible to redeem points and access your account. In addition to the above, the former holder confirmed that the Sony Rewards mobile app will also be shutting down its doors after that date. However, Sony also revealed that it's no longer accepting any new members or reward programs, so if you haven't signed up yet, you're sadly out of luck. So there you go. So I don't even know what this means. I know that Xbox has some reward program as well where you can turn it in for like gift cards and stuff like that. I'm assuming that's what this is. So I don't know why they're shutting it down, but they're shutting it down. What's going on, Ghost Fixer? What's going on, Dolphin? Yeah, so I'm assuming that they're just getting rid of the program and there's no program whatsoever. Is there something that takes the place of that? If you're a PlayStation player, let me know in the comment section or the live stream after the fact. Is there something they're putting in place of this, or are they just getting rid of this and there is no reward program anymore for Sony fans? Nintendo and Xbox still have rewards. Yeah, you get like a free ship. Gotten a lot of free games from Nintendo, gold coins. Yeah, I obviously they all have. Like, again, I don't know. Are they taking Sony's program and replacing it with something else, or are they literally just cutting it and going, "Nope, we don't need it. We're good." Gotta that over a bit. I need to redeem my $5. You get that $5. Get that $5. I've only used the program twice, but random, just shutting it down now. Yeah, it's again. I'm not gonna pretend to know why they're doing it. They don't say. Even down here, let's see. The last day access account is the reward website. It doesn't say. It doesn't say though. Please be sure to retrieve an unused digital codes to earn redeem the points. Active section under my account section. Yeah, it doesn't say why it's shutting down. They just said, "Hey, we're shutting down." To reward you fans from playing all our games and buying all our games on PlayStation for our first-party titles, we just want to reward you with a non-reward program. That's what they're doing. What's going on, Worlds? I don't. Do you know why they're shutting it down, Worlds? It's called PlayStation Stars, right? I have no idea. Here, let me see. Let's see. Why is Sony? Let's see here. Why is Sony rewards program to end in 31st? PlayStation Lifestyle. Current PlayStation Sony reward program PlayStation credits only available for 12. There's no reason why they're shutting it down. There's no one talking about why it's shutting down. They just say that it is shutting down. Let's see. You just say, yeah, it's this is for the credit card. Been around since the early 2010s. They're ending it. I don't know. PlayStation service has been down for 2 weeks. So wait a minute. So the program itself, the program itself, okay, PlayStation, this service has been down for 2 weeks. Fans fear demise. Okay, so 2 weeks ago, it was down. So to pamper the players, Sony announced in 2022 rewards program called PlayStation Stars, which offered the chance to earn various rewards, accumulating redeeming points, is well received in some regions. However, the fans are worried about its future. Recently, PlayStation Stars has been experiencing issues the past 2 weeks. During the time, some of its features have also not been working correctly. There's also currently no definitive solution. As a result, players fear that PlayStation Stars could disappear soon. Now, is that the same program? The program that hasn't been working for 2 weeks, is that the same program? The PlayStation Rewards program is called PlayStation Stars? According to several players, issues PlayStation Stars began on June 5th. The day service went offline. Sony was not provided explanations for the problems affecting the rewards program, leading players to demand a prompt resolution through social media. Initially, PlayStation Stars was not operating correctly as the icon disappeared from PlayStation mobile app, while Element was also since returned to the app. Reality is that it still does not function. Clicking on the button prompts users to receive a message stating that Sony is aware of the issue, working on the resolve of it. PlayStation Stars is currently experiencing issues. Our engineers are aware of the problem and working on the solution, alert reads. Players are frustrated because they cannot use programs to earn points from their purchases or redeem rewards, and this is accumulated points. Some users are concerned that the situation may somehow affect the account and progress. Those believe that Sony may bid farewell to PlayStation Stars and shut it down soon, as a resolution has to take many days. Finally, some believe that everything will return to normal as after maintenance. For some reason, PlayStation Stars rewards also disappeared from the menu, so it went unofficial to the official website, and it found this does not mean that the service for Japan has ended. I looked and noticed that there was nothing written, and I wonder what's going on. So there you go. So this is this. Okay. So this is this. There was problems going on, and now they came out and said that we're ending the program. Nothing to replace it. Not saying why they're doing it. And I'm sure people would defend this and be like, well, no one's using it anyway. Mega Death Mayhem says the reward program is something different than PlayStation Stars. Stars basically replace PlayStation Rewards. Rewards is focused on the Sony credit card. Okay, so Stars is the program that replaced the reward program they're shutting down in December. But the Stars program has also been down for 2 weeks. There is a Sony credit card, and this is what the reward program is for. I assume this is what is ending. I don't think the Stars is ending. So this is two different stories then. So the Stars program is just not working for the last 2 weeks. And then the rewards program is being closed down. All right, as long as they have something that replaced the other thing. That's what I thought it was weird. I was like, so wait, they're just getting rid of the rewards program, not replacing it with anything? So they've already replaced it with the Stars program, which was from 2 years ago. So the rewards program, the credit card that they had was from 2010. The Stars program started 2 years ago. Stars is horrible anyway. Tell me how I can buy a game day one, and then they add the coins rewards a day later. I can't take advantage of it because I bought the game a day before. Oh. What? That's stupid. He says, I heard the Star Wars working, but they tried to update something. Or the Stars was working, not Star Wars. I got Star Wars on the brain there, Z. Star was working, and they tried to update something in the app, and that was broken for the last 2 weeks. I never got any games from it. Only got cool 3D statues from the game. Oh, is this that thing, the Stars program, where they would put, like, you would earn, like, little trophies and certain things where you can have, like, you would unlock, like, a picture profile and stuff like that? Yeah, it's weird, huh? See, I remember doing a story. It feels like last week, but this was like two years ago when they said they were implementing it. Well, I hope it gets fixed. I think Travis was telling me that something was happening with the rewards program. There you go. There's your public service announcement. Something's happening. The rewards program. So if you are a Sony rewards program person, you have points unused. Make sure you use those before December 31st because they're shutting that down. And on top of that, the Stars program that PlayStation has is down for the last 2 weeks, but nobody has any answers for you. So there you go. Speaking of useless stuff, the actual first story that we have is Microsoft has begun sending out refunds for both Xbox and Steam versions of Redfall Bite Back Edition. Can we just, if you like Redfall, cool, but can we all admit that the game came out and it was an actual horrible state? They should have never released it. They should have never even. There's games that are been done more than this that release and actually work. Okay. This was released at full price, more than full price, right? Where you could buy this game for $130, okay, for the Bite Back Edition. They told you that we're going to add new characters and offline mode and stuff, which, to be fair, they have done that now. They've added the offline mode, okay? I don't think they've added the other heroes, but at least they're giving the money back, right? It's a small step, but it's a step nonetheless that they actually gave the people back the money that they spent on. But mind you, they put it in a bank account, had the interest from that, accruing interest while they waited to tell people that, oh, we're not actually going to give you this, right? This is everything going in the future. Going from this point forward, anybody in the video game industry should look at Redfall and go, that's something that we should never do. Don't ever do what they did, okay? But I have a feeling someone's going to say, hold my beer, and they're going to do the exact same thing. But Redfall, promised DLC drops were canceled, and Microsoft is making good on the refunds, which is actually really good. Okay? It says, Redfall was a 4-player co-op shooter in a fictional island community besieged by vampires and other similar mutants, okay, developed by Arcane Studios Austin of the Prey fame. Now, Redfall looked like it had some promise. Not really. An initially marketing cycle, but the full game's shady fell far below expectations. Right? When they first showed this game, we didn't know what it was. We're like, okay, cool, you're fighting vampires, but what is it? Like, what are you doing? They never showed you or said anything up to a point really close to launch. Okay? A general lack of polish, flanked by uninspired gameplay, saw Redfall struggle to stand out in the busy crowd of thus unable to find an audience. Okay? Well, no, I'm gonna take this like a bad product. A bad product, excuse me, is a bad product, right? People are allowed to like bad things, right? Like your personal preference of a game, if you like the game or not. But the overall picture of the game, it was a bad game, right? There's a lot of games that come out broke, buggy, unfinished. There's other games that come out broke, buggy, unfinished in early access and beta and playtest and preview. I said this back then. If this game came out in the preview program like Grounded did, or Sea of Thieves did, I don't think there would have been an issue. Okay, I don't think there would have been an issue because it had that marking of it where it's a work in progress. But they, and when I say they, Microsoft, them, Xbox, put this out there, ZeniMax, Bethesda, all of these people said, we're going to put this out there at full price, okay? And it's a broke, buggy game and it's unfinished, okay? Which is just scummy across the board, okay? So Microsoft acquired the studio behind Redfall sometime in mid-development as part of Bethesda's ZeniMax purchase a few years back, roughly a year after Redfall's disappointing launch. Microsoft shuttered Arcane Austin alongside Tango Gameworks and other Bethesda studios as part of the restructuring efforts. Incidentally, Redfall's promised DLC plans were shelved, leaving users who had purchased the Season Pass and associated content earlier with the game's Bite Back Edition out in the in lurch. Now, it seems that Microsoft and Bethesda are trying to repair the damages, okay, which they should, 100%. I paid for product wasn't delivered, you give me refund. That's how business works, okay? It says it received tips in the evening from the users who purchased Redfall's Bite Back Edition, and they were receiving automatic refunds. And the Bite Back Edition cost $26.99, and Microsoft appears to be refunding the full amount of users on both Xbox and Steam. Refunds seem to be rolling out in waves, with some having received one already, while the others are currently in waiting. And you should check your junk mail attached to the Steam and Xbox account in case it has fallen in there. And mind you, I haven't read the rest of the article, but they better refund the money, not give you like Xbox bucks, rewards, Fortnite cash. You know what I'm talking about? Don't give me virtual currency either. Give me back the actual money back into my bank account, right? Now, it says check your junk mail. Now, one user also informed me that they were also able to work with Bethesda customer service to receive a refund for the physical version of the Redfall Bite Back Edition as well after submitting the ticket. Although if you go down the route, be patient with this in waiting time, as there may be fair few and other people trying to grab refunds in this method as well. Okay, this is the right thing to do by the customer. Redfall had a solid concept behind it, given that it lived in a world of chaotic lack of high-quality vampire games in the days, perhaps the lingering curse of the Twilight movies, but Redfall was sadly not destined for greatness. Redfall had received some of the solid post-launch updates, including 60 frames per second mode, but it sadly wasn't enough. That should have also been at launch, by the way, not after the fact, right? The human cost of Arcane Studios and Tango Gameworks and other studios closed by Microsoft in recent years is still a raw to think about. But there's very least it's good for Bethesda and Microsoft making things right for consumers and purchase accepted content, only to not receive it. If you picked up Redfall Bite Back Edition, keep an eye out for your inbox for refunds and drop a line to Bethesda customer support. This should happen more, I'll be honest with you. This should happen more for refunds and whatnot, instead of once you buy the game, you can't get a refund if you played a certain period of time. Like if you sell a game, okay, I'm assuming like product, right? Like you sell product, I buy product. If I buy that product and that product isn't done, right, then I should be able to get 100% a refund. I don't care if it's 2 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours into that game. You know that game's not finished. You know that game is an unfinished product. How about this? How about if you're allowed to put a game like Redfall out there, if you're allowed to put a game like Cyberpunk out there, if you're allowed to put Hello Games, No Man's Sky out there, when they come out, they're not in working order. They're broke, buggy, Fallout 76, Battlefield 2042. Pick a game that you don't like that was broke, buggy, and unfinished when it came out, okay? And how about you're allowed to play that game as long as you want and then ask for a refund until it's official that it's actually fixed? How about that? How about that? We make a stand and say that we're allowed a refund as long as that game is still not complete. Because only if it's complete should you actually charge full price for a game, right? So if you're charging full price for a game and the game comes out and it's not finished, I think it's fair to say that until that game is finished, I'm allowed a refund because I paid for a game and you gave me an incomplete game. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Do you think that, obviously this is good for people that bought the game or bought the expansion because they get their money back? But let me know in the comment section down below, how do you... there's other games out there that people should have got refunds for, but they just waited for update 1, 1.1, 1.5, 1.8, 2.0, 3.0, right? Let me know in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, please check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. No, bro. Hold my beer. Hold my bourbon. You can only recommend Redfall to an enemy. World says it's most likely a refund based on how you paid for it. They should give everyone an automatic refund. Automatic refund. One of the things I like about Xbox is their refund policy is pretty good and consumer service is great. Never had a problem. I've had an issue with them back in the day. I haven't had during the Xbox 360 time frame with the Red Ring of Death. That was a fucking nightmare and a half. I'll be honest with you, and I had to do it 3 times. Let's be real. Nobody bought that Redfall and DLC. Well, Ron, that's just not true. There's people that did buy it. Right? If it's not a complete game, then you don't get full price. That's what I'm saying, right? And this is why I like when games come out in early access on PC, because they're like, hey, it's early access, you're paying this much, and then when it comes out, they raise the price. I got mine 3 weeks before the launch of Halo 3. Yeah, that whole time period of the Xbox 360 with the Red Ring of Death was absolute trash, right? And then they sent it back, and they brought it back, and I had to wait, and I had to ship. You know, you have to ship it off, right? And then you get the new one, and then you find out the new one is not a new one; it's a refurbished one. It was awful. It was absolutely awful. I finally got a brand new one. I made sure that they gave me a brand new one. I got a completely different SKU number. It was like a newer one. I keep telling gamers to write their legislators about scummy game practices, and I get laughed out of the room. I guess a gospel doing absolutely nothing is better than some smooth-brained gamers. Oh, well. Right. You can't... I like the people... I never understood this, Vandal. The people that defend shady business practices, right? Shady business practices. Because nowhere in the real world, if you went to go buy something in real life, I don't care if it's a fucking donut, a drink, right? If you bought a soft drink, and they fill it up behind the counter for you, and then they put it in front of you, okay? And then all of a sudden you look at it and it's like half filled. You're like, hey, can you fill that up? Like, I just paid full price for that soft drink. And they're like, oh, whatever, right? Like, no, you fill it up. Give me what I paid for, okay? Like, just the other day, I went to a chicken place, right? I ordered an 8-piece chicken, right, set. They only gave me 7. Right? So I went back up to the counter. I said, you only gave me 7. And they're like, so? And I was like, what do you mean, so? I was like, I paid for 8. Give me 8. Right? Like there's in no other world. They go, oh, no, tough shit. You only got the 7. Like, what are we talking about? Right? But for some reason in the video game world, I'll just say the software world, right? You're allowed to sell something that's a half-ass product. They sent me a box to ship it. I shipped it, and I had to be back in 2 weeks. No cost to me. The one I got worked perfectly. Now, I went through 3 of them. I don't give a shit if they sent me a box. I don't give a shit about any of that. I'm a consumer that paid, at the time, what, $300, right? And it didn't work. And then I sent it off, and then it didn't work. And then I sent it off, and it didn't work, right? Ghost Fixer said I had the Red Ring of Death maybe twice. Took it back a few times and still got the 2 included in my OG 360. Always took them a week to fix. Yeah. I decided to take my hard drive, put it aside, and then the Wii U until the Xbox One came out. Donuts. Start says, Vandal, you're 100% correct. Fucking write them, call them, tweet them. Consumer protection, please. Kylo says, half the time I ask for no ice, so the whole cup with my soda, especially at Taco Bell with the Baja Blast. Oh, yeah. They fill it up with ice and then, like, this much liquid. You're like, what the f... And when you ask for no ice, they look at you like you're weird. You're like, what? No ice? Yeah, like, yeah, I'm good. No ice. We could be like that with Helldivers 2 gamers to make them turn around bad decisions for democracy. They will listen. Imagine getting half-assed heart surgery. That has happened for some people. You ever hear those stories of the people leaving like the rags inside their chest as they open it up, and they're like they left some tools in there? Yeah, that's a half-assed heart surgery. Like, yeah, we fixed your heart, but we left some tools left inside and some stuff blocking stuff. Don't worry about it. Like, where's my wedding ring? Did I get the red ring? I don't know if you got the red ring of death. I have no idea. I wasn't living with you, so I have no idea if you got the red ring of death. I think you did. I got it. I got 3 times. I had 4 Xbox 360s. We had bought our 360 at Best Buy, so it was easy when we got the Ring of Death. Later on, we just got to get it swapped out with a new one. It was always a newer version. That's what I did the last time. The very last time, that's what I did, Z. That's why I went from the white version to the black version. I have got the black version the last time. I took the other one back. I was like, fuck this. I was like, Red Ring of Death, and then they just swapped it out. Did the towel trick? Yeah, the towel trick where you put like an ice pack and stuff like that. Yeah. There's also needs to be laws passed to protect digital libraries. Well, we're going to talk. I haven't watched it yet. I don't think we watched it. I don't have a red line on it. Kingard has a video called The Future. I'm sorry, the Dark Digital Age or whatever. The Dark Side of Digital. Right? So we're going to watch that. Yeah, well, Sony did that. Sony did that recently to people with movies. If you had certain movies on your Sony box, they just deleted them. Right? You have no consumer protection on that as well, right? And then everyone talks about, well, if what's the term? If not buying is not owning, then pirating is not stealing, right? Is that the quote everyone's going around with now? Speaking of the next story, right? Well, actually, we don't have to go into the next story, but the next story is about early access, right? It's about early access. Yeah, I never understood the people that defend it, right? I'll never defend a company. I'll never defend a company when they're fucking over people. It just doesn't make sense. I never understood the people that will bleed the color of whatever company that is. I don't care if it's Coca-Cola, if it's Sony, if it's fucking Q-tips. I don't care. Okay? Like, I never understood the people that defend a company. They're like, oh, well, it's just that's just the way it is. Like, I purchased a shit ton of stuff, and you're just going to take it away from me because, oh, it's because we said so. It says early access used to mean getting lucky on date. Kyle says, kind of wild, even if the Red Ring of Death issues a 360 is still the best Microsoft console by a mile. You have to think about it, though. Did the Red Ring of Death have its toll later on that the next console didn't sell as well? And then this next console didn't sell? Is it that people were like, you know what? Did the Red Ring of Death in the long period of time make people choose the other platform? right? Phil Spencer says they lost the console war with the Xbox One, but I really think they lost it in the 360 because of the Red Ring of Death, right? They literally put a system out that was in early access. Right? Great system, great games during that system, but you burnt, right? People have asked me, well, are you going to buy the next Xbox? No, because you lied about this Xbox, right? You told me that this was going to be what it was, and it wasn't when it came out, right? So it's like, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait to see that the things that you say that it's going to do, it does this, and then some. If that's happening with music too, when you own a CD or an LP, where to play it? You can't restrict access for it. Right. But everyone does the Spotify. Spotify is the Netflix. Netflix, okay, is for movies. Spotify is for music. And Game Pass is for games, right? That's what they're trying to do. Or Steam, right? Everyone's like happy that Steam does what Steam does. There'll be a time that Steam closes down or Steam gets bought out. And then, just like that, they can take everything away from you. Because you have no choice. What are you going to do? All right. The next story, okay? So there's a new MMO coming out, right? Pax Dei, right? It's criticized for $100 launch edition and early access woes. Okay, if you guys like what I do here, we cover news stories, have conversations, give you my thoughts and opinions based on the article itself. If you like this, I do this from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern, Monday through Thursday. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as low as $5. We do live streams, uploads, and we also do podcasts. Don't forget tonight, Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast at 8 p.m. Tonight. All right, so PAX Day isn't doing well on Steam as players of the social sandbox MMORPG call out the pricing and plethora of early access launch issues. Okay, the new MMORPG PAX Day is also off to a rough start on Steam. Players aren't happy about the overall pricing state of the game and the plethora of bugs and glitches impending on the experience. Now, developer Mainframe Industries has already issued a few fixes, though, and the team is aware of more problems that plans to get rid of in the near future. As of the publication, PAX Day is setting a mixed on Steam, just 43% of 551 user reviews rating its positively. Okay, and the social sandbox MMORPG wants to give users a world completely run by player-driven economies across the massive map. But the overall state of the Steam early access launch and the pricing options have left players unimpressed. Okay, it says, quote, I hope things will be improved and the devs will also get lots of things fixed. Okay, it says on Steam, but because right now it feels like a shit show. Lag, building things and won't let place, but items are removed from your inventory. Difficulty is finding basic building mats, and the thing is rather upsetting is the game costs $40. The pricing is a common complaint amongst PAX Day players, as the $40 version gets you one plot of land to build a homestead on, while the $60 version gives you two, and the $100 version gives you four. This is the top planned subscription model for when the MMO comes out early access in 2025. This is a fucking no for me, okay? This sounds exactly, right? This sounds like plots of land that were sold in Second Life back in the day, right? Like you didn't have to pay for Second Life, though. Second Life was a free-to-play game that you walked into the universe, and then they would charge you for server space or whatnot. That's exactly what this sounds like it's doing, okay? Many players are also reporting that PAX Day feels too buggy and unfinished. Even by Steam Early Access standards, incredible for the game in such an early state to have such a god-awful launch. Literally, nothing works. Even if it did, it's a bare-bones Unreal Engine assets pack and not an actual game, user Resler adds. Not everyone has been so hard on PAX Day, of course, as others see the potential in building up your own homestead surrounded by players and has lots of potential. But the moment, it only at the skeleton that what it could be, okay? Like, here's the thing. I understand it's an early access game, but if you want game testers, man, you got to make sure your game fucking works. Okay? You can't buy something and go, man, the potential of this game is going to be amazing. If, right? It's like a what if scenario. Man, this show would be great. I can't wait for this. No, you gotta hook me from the start. When you watch a television show and there's 22 episodes, the first 2-3 episodes have to be bangers to hook you. If they don't, it's like, why? Okay, so you're asking for $40 for early access and nothing's working. Okay, this is what I say all the time on this channel. There's no difference between early access, beta, preview, gold edition. It doesn't matter. Games all come out at the exact same time. We read an article yesterday from Sean Layden, how to get out games faster for cheaper. Well, here you go. Why take 3 to 5 years to make your game when you can make your game in 12 to 15 months, put it out there in early access, charge full price for your game, and then work on it for the next 3 years after the fact? Why would they fix the game if they don't have to, if they can make money off a broken game? Why would they make fixes if they can get full price for that game at the start? 2 hours. 2 hours and you can't return the game. Okay? So it says, if you want to be part of the journey and give feedback along the way, I highly recommend trying it out. If you want something more completed and polished, then do not buy it in current state. If someone's giving you feedback, you should give them that game. Okay? You should give them the game. Right? $10, right? Hey, we're in early access. We need your help. Okay? We'll give it to you at a discount. Okay? Mainframe does note on the website that the pricing model could change depending on players' feedback during early access. Though we're still a while away from the full release of PAX Dei, and we want you to use this time ahead to see if players engage with the game and hear from the community before the lock of the model mainframe rights. Please wait for more details before forging yourself into strong opinions on the monetization model and the system. In the Discord update from today, Wednesday, June 19th, Mainframe notes that the first day of early access has been a tad hectic. While outlining the issues, it has fixed its way and it's aware of it. The placing and removing plot problems is a lack of issues that crafting have been fixed, and the ongoing login problems and the ability to invite people to clans and parties are still being looked at. We've also put together the best new MMOs that you can check out. So again, there's way too many problems for a game to come out, and then you're asking full price and then asking people to be patient. So you're asking for money up front, then you're asking people to be patient, and then you're asking for people for feedback. Like, bro, pay for game testers, right? Pay for game testers, pay for people but they can't, because then that brings up the price of the cost, and then they would have to throw it back to you. Instead of the game costing $40, it would cost $60. Okay, but you still get a broken, buggy, unfinished game. Okay, there is no difference, as I just said from Redfall's article from the last one that we did before. Okay, Redfall, Sea of Thieves when it came out was a half-ass game, and I play tested that game for 2 years, gave them feedback, part of that whole society underneath. 2 years I played that game, and when it came to they say they were going to launch, I was like, I said it on stream. I was like, I can't believe they're launching this game. I said, I can't believe they're launching this game with just what the amount of stuff that they have in the game. Sure enough, that's what they did. $40 it came out. Okay, $40 it came out. I said it was fun. I said, but it's an incomplete game. Then they had, I forget the first DLC they had, right, where they had the teams make the first one with the sharks, when the sharks came in the world, right? It took Sea of Thieves, even though it was in development for 5 years, okay? It took them another 2 years to get that into a good spot, okay? Battlefield 2042 took them 19 months to get it back to where it should have at launch. No Man's Sky took them 2.5 years to get it where it should have launched. Cyberpunk 2077 got them 2 years before it was where it's supposed to launch, right? And it's like, you could say this. Fallout 76 took them 2 years to get it to where it should have been at launch. All of these problems, and yet here we are. It's like weekly games come out and they're broke, buggy, unfinished, and people are paying full price and they're asking for $40, $60, $80, $100 for a game, and they have all the problems they did, and it doesn't matter if it's an early access, beta, or preview program. It doesn't matter, right? It's bullshit. You got to stop buying these games and playing these games and going, oh, well, it's got full potential. It's got so much potential. Oh, yeah, I have fun. No, you're hurting yourself by buying these games and playing these games. You want to get it fixed? You want to get it fixed? It's easy. Don't buy it. Don't play it. Watch how fast they finish and make a game work. Do you know why free-to-play games are better off than the actual games that you pay for? Because it has to be good. It has to be good to hook you. That's why a free-to-play game is more beloved than actual games in the market nowadays, because they didn't pay anything for a broken, buggy game. And most free-to-play games that come out are not broken, buggy. They're like flawless because they want you to pay $10, $15, $25 for skins and other things in that game. But yet these other games that are full price, half price, whatever it is, okay, it doesn't have to work. Because they ask for $20 up front. They ask for 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 150, 200. Okay, up front, $48,000 for a game that's still in early access 10 years later. And people are okay paying for it because they're having fun. Because of the potential. It's got to stop. If you want it to change, you have to stop buying and playing these early access games that never are going to get fixed, especially one with an economy held on by people. If one thing happens where it breaks the economy down, it's over. It ruins the entire game for the player economy if someone finds a glitch or a bug or a duplication glitch. It destroys the entire game from within. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. Let me know what you think about not just PAX Dei if you're playing it. Let me know what you think about the game. But let me know what you think about early access, alpha, beta, full launch, and how these games are just getting worse. They're not getting better. They just take advantage of the system. Let me know in the comment section down below. Like I said, please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. So expensive. Just buy real land and build a real house. I like to play the inverted controls. Fortnite technically is still in development. Yeah. But the difference between Fortnite, well, actually, when Fortnite first came out, you had to buy Save the World. Had to buy Save the World. Then they made the free-to-play Battle Royale, and they put that out there. Come on, water. It's like all these games that are in early access and stuff like that, like you pay them and people love them from the start. And then by the time the game actually launches, no one's playing the game because they've already moved on to the next game. Here, perfect example, right? And this is not to say this is a shit game in any way, shape, or form, okay? Because Palworld we played, it's a fun game, right? I played it on Game Pass first or whatnot, okay? Came out in February, sold 19 million copies or 22 million copies, whatever the fuck it was, okay? Extremely, like the companies that has more money they know what to fucking do with, they actually don't even have to do anything anymore. They've made so much money from the game, and it's in early access. It's not even fully launched yet. 2.1 million people at all-time peak. Now, this is not a discussion of, well, the player base dropped, okay? The point of this conversation is that people played the shit out of this game and still are. 24,000 is a great number for a game that's in early access, okay? 24,000 people right now are playing this game. And this game could be 2 years off before it's like officially launched. And by 2 years from now, when it fully launches, there could be another game that comes out that people, or early access game that comes out that people are playing, like the Palworld of that time. And when the game comes out, right, like I played Minecraft. I paid $4 for Minecraft when Notch was working on it, right, in early access. I wanted to know. I knew going into it, I was like, you know what? It's a one guy making this game. I'm going to help him out. I'm going to give him feedback and stuff. I paid $4 for the independent developer. I did that. Great. Now he made the game, okay? I played it for 4 fucking years off of $4, okay? And it got better and better and better and better. By the time it launched, I stopped playing the shit out of it because I was playing it for 4 years. Dolphin says I played PAX Day and my PC almost exploded. Will you stop buying early access survival games? What's the last early access survival game I bought besides Palworld, which I played first on the Xbox on Game Pass, okay? And the only reason I paid for it, okay, is because our community was playing it, and then we got into the server over there and we had fun playing it, right? Otherwise, if I wasn't a content creator, Jones, I wouldn't have purchased it. I don't buy very many early access games. Unless unless we talk about games like Marvel's Avengers or Suicide Squad, which are games that are early access but disguised as full price games. The mech one. You talk about the first dwarf, that one? The one that's a demo right now? What other mech one? The mech one. Oh, you're talking about the farming one, the mech one with the farming. What the fuck was that called? I didn't buy that. That's on Game Pass, early access, or whatever it was. Jack says, I like the idea of PAX Day, but it seems like they offered nothing for $40 with the excuse of early access. Yeah, it's a demo. It's an early preview program. I did not purchase that. We even played the game and said at the end, I go, they don't even have the story in it yet. It's the same thing they did with Grounded, and this is exactly what I said when we were talking about the what's it called? Redfall, right? If Redfall came out and said it was in a preview program, no one would have a problem. But when you come out and pay $70 for that game, or you pay $130 for that game, people have a problem with that. The first dwarf is in early access now. Jack says, I think you're right about some of the free-to-play games. Once Humans seemed very polished. They have to be. Free-to-play games have to be polished. Why? Because that's how they keep you in the game. If a free-to-play game came out broke, buggy, and unfinished like the other games that are full price, people wouldn't play them. Right? They wouldn't play them. But because they're so good, because they're so polished, okay, that's what hooks you, and you're like, oh, I'll give them $10. I'll give them $15. I'll give them $20. That's the whole point of the free-to-play games like that. Sarge says, you guys know how many games are out there, right? You know how much time you have to have and actually play the games, right? So why are you buying incomplete full-price games? Yeah, I don't buy that many games. The games that I bought this year, I bought Helldivers. Good game. Last year I bought Hogwarts. I bought Jedi Survivor. We bought Diablo. I bought Baldur's Gate 3. This year I purchased we purchased Palworld, Helldivers, Suicide Squad. With Suicide Squad I didn't buy. It was a gift. I'm trying to think of another. I bought a Hyperbox Uncharge. Or Hypercharge Unbox. Sorry. Let's go on Roadkill. I bought Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. Okay, that was cheap, and I liked their other game, Deep Rock Galactic. Now that's an early access, but that's a polished game, right? That's a game that's not broke, buggy, and unfinished. It's a very polished game. It's a Vampire Survivor type of game. don't need to buy games. I'm so mad at every game that I bought is now Game Pass, hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I'm so mad. There's a shit ton of games I play on Game Pass. Why do we buy incomplete games? Because we're stupid. You have to show me a game first, and I look at it just like a TV show, just like a movie trailer. I look at the trailer, I look at the TV trailer, and I'm like, I'm not interested in that. I look at the video of the video game trailer, I'm like, possible, maybe. And then more information comes out, and I'm like, no, I'm good. This is why I'm big on talking about demos. If you could put a demo out there to sell your game before someone can drop $20, right? $40, $60, that's huge. Okay? If you know your game's good, you'll put a demo out there because the demo will sell the game. And this is why I find funny, Roadkill, that the console wars that people have, they're like, oh, there's no games coming to Xbox. And I'm like, all the games that are coming out third-party wise are coming to the same console for majority of them, like 90, 95% of them. And then most of those are coming to Game Pass. So the people are like, in your face, I'm paying $70 over here. Someone's like, I'm paying 12. I'm paying $12. Okay, to have a conversation with someone and be like, I'm having a better time than you because I'm paying more money than you. Okay, sure. Have at it. It makes no sense to me, right? For someone to get mad at somebody else for not paying as much money for them for the same game that they're playing, amazing, right? Call of Duty, perfect example. The next Call of Duty, it's on Game Pass. Yet PlayStation guys are like, fucking Game Pass. I'm going to go be over here. I'm going to pay $70, $100 for the Call of Duty. They're like, all right, cool. I'm also going to play Call of Duty. The old stat was 100 games released weekly. I think it's more than that now. I'm pretty sure it's more than that now. According to data, SteamDB is spotted by Games Radar. 14,531 games were released in Steam in 2023. It breaks down to just under 40 a day. Although, given how many people release games, it's more accurately breaks down to about 50 every weekday. 50 games a day. About 50 new games come out a day. Yeah. So there you go. This was as of January 2nd, 2024. Robert Jones says, I missed the demo disc. Chuck E. Cheese versus Disneyland. Free to play Goat Simulator 3 now is $15 for DLC if you want to play it. My son loves Goat Simulator 3. Playing on Game Pass is like getting demos. Yeah. Yeah. That's how games got sold back then. You can't knock on everyone's door and go, hey, do you want to play our game? No, because back then the graphics weren't the greatest, right? You had to see a game and play the game yourself to see it. Okay. So demo discs or going to your local video store to rent the game before you bought the game was what Game Pass is now. And I want to say Game Pass, not PlayStation Plus, because those games are coming day and date on this console, where the other one comes out afterwards. So you would have to wait a certain period of time before you can play that demo on PlayStation or other services, where Xbox is like, yeah, you can play it right now. Right? Even EA gives you a 10-day or 10-hour, not 10-day, a 10-hour demo of their brand new games. Right? They're like, oh, try it out. Right? They put Battlefield 2042 out there, and thank God they did. Thank God they did. We played the beta, and then when the game launched, I was like, all right, let me see if they fixed all the game. So I used an hour and a half of the 10 hours that they gave me, okay? And thank God I did, because they saved me a shit ton of money. And that's what it should be. If you're excited about your game and you think your game is great, put a demo out there. No, that's a slippery slope, Ron. PS3 has missions that you don't hold your hand, and you have to figure it out. And also, them is actually better than most games. You played the beta for a year. For which game? Battlefield 2042? I didn't play it. And I said I won't play that game until it comes with a Game Pass, and that's exactly what I did. For 1 year, I didn't play it. Yeah, demos are fantastic. Not only do you get more sales if you have a demo, okay, but you also have more people that are not having remorse buying a game that they're not interested in. House loves bringing up Evolve. He's like, this sounds like a conversation I could bring Evolved up. He's like, you know what game doesn't hold your hand? Evolve. Who's with me? Demos can backfire? How can they backfire, Ron? Demo, if it's a shitty game and you don't like it, it saves you money. If the developer puts a game out there in a demo format and it doesn't sell, well, then there's a problem with their game, fundamentally. Would it not? Not only does it save them, okay, and they know that no one's interested in our game, but the people that are buying the game or trying the game, it makes them educated to know, do I like this game? Can I see myself putting this many hours in this game for this price? So you think demos backfire? Backfire for who? The consumers? I think all early access games should just call it the beta test. Early access has so many bugs and missing so many features, it's definitely not a full version. It doesn't, but that's my point, Water. Alpha, beta, Charlie, Delta, whatever the fuck you guys want to call it, okay? Early access, preview, gold. It doesn't matter. They're all the same now. It doesn't matter. It backfires for the devs, but helps us, the consumers. Why do I give a shit about the devs? If I go to an ice cream shop, and I ask for a taste test of the actual chocolate ice cream or cotton candy ice cream, they give it to me and go, yeah, it's good. I'm going to take that. Okay. Oh, I don't like that. Right. Does that backfire on the company? No, the company's like, yeah, test it out. See what you like. Right. So what am I supposed to do? Because I did a demo, I'm like, well, I played the demo, I gotta buy it now. Poor devs. They made a bad game and the demo sucks, but I played it, so I gotta pick it up. But what is at the end of is the gaming industry today? We don't own anything. Next step, subscription service. So access games, don't pay monthly, won't play it at all. If it's a game, if the future is just a streaming service, then it doesn't really matter, right, PL? If a game comes out broke, buggy, unfinished, right? because you're not paying anything for that game. You're paying for the service with a bunch of stuff on there, right? So it really doesn't matter if it's broke or buggy, right? Which is terrible. This is why I say that the service industry, the Game Pass, the PlayStation Plus, the streaming services is bad for the industry, because then it brings the quality of the games down, because it doesn't matter if they work or not, right? That's the problem that I say that with these streaming services. Now, as a consumer, you're not paying $70 a pop for each of these games. Sarge says, let's be honest. There's way too many games trying to compete for people's limited time. The hype train is needed to hold eyeballs, but there's so many talented people out there. Most devs are not exactly endearing themselves to players nowadays anyway. Credit House, you should host an Evolve tournament. Salty says, it's okay, Mike, we can patch it. Right? That was my whole stance when Game Pass came out. Right? And people were like, oh, he's an Xbox shell. I don't like Game Pass for the industry. But as a consumer, it's fantastic value. Right? And we've talked about this. How high can they go? Can they go to $25, $30 a month? They could. And it's still a good value. Right? Because if they come out with 4 games a year, okay? If they come out with 4 games a year and each game costs $70, okay? That's just 4 games. That's going to cost you $280 at just the $70 price tag. Right? Hey, if you want to play all the games and all the games are on Game Pass, right, down the road, you'll be like, well, do I buy that game? And they got you coming and going, because they don't care if you buy the game. They don't care if you rent the game. They don't. They'll get the $70 here, or they get the $70 down the road here. Either way, they're going to get your $70. The difference is, for digital stuff, you don't own any of it. So when they take your Battleborn away from you, when they take your Marvel's Ultimate Alliance games from you, you can't do anything about it. The highest Game Pass can go is $70 a month. That'd be a fucking expensive. That's 700. We're talking about $840 a year. That would be insane, Ron. But Amazon's got a 99.7 Amazon Web Service. Well, most people, where are you going with this, Starry Night, right? Because Amazon, you get a whole shit ton of stuff for the Amazon Prime price, right? And then they add a whole bunch of stuff on top of that. Where if you just ship, if you ship a lot, right, you're already paying for that tenfold. But a cloud game service don't have it. If I pay $30, I need my game able to compensate me. Well, that's a completely different conversation, right? Are you upset right now? Do you have Netflix? Do you have Netflix right now, Knight? Do you have any kind of streaming service? Do you watch any kind of movies or television shows? But where's the line where consumers say, well, the price is way too much? That's each their own, Salty. That's each their own. And you got to remember, if 3 people are paying $10 a month, and then they can raise the price to $30 a month, the one guy that's paying $30 a month covers these 3 people. This is the whole thing about microtransactions, right? This is why there's whales and stuff like that. I only use Apple Music. Okay, so you pay for a streaming service. All the music that you use or listen to, you do not own. Even if you paid for that, you do not own them. Right? Now, obviously, you could take that music and try to download it to your outboard hard drive and whatever else that you can try to work around, right? People rip movies and stuff like that. Right? But it's the same thing. Right? You're also not getting the best quality, mind you, off of Apple Music or Spotify or anything like that. The point I was trying to make with Netflix or Game Pass or anything. You're saying that the connection quality is bad. When you watch Netflix, you're not getting the full 1080p, 4K, 2K, whatever it is. They fucking crunch that as much as possible. Same with the quality of the music, right? The music that you're listening to on Spotify and stuff like that is not the best quality that's out there. Same with video games. When Amazon Prime added ads, I would have canceled, but I buy for shipping. Exactly, Jones. They got you, right? Same exact thing for us. I don't want to pay for Amazon Prime, for Prime Video and stuff like that. But because we ship so much, it's part of it. And if we get rid of Amazon, we would pay more shipping stuff than we would if we just keep the product and then everything else is on top, right? Salty says, but not matter what tier we're talking about. There's always a saturation point. Go now. I'm not paying anymore. Sure, but again, what's the saturation point of people paying $5 microtransactions? What's the point of $10 microtransactions? What percentage of the population is paying for $10 microtransactions, and what part of the population is not paying for microtransactions, right? Well, the people that are paying $10, how many people can we get to pay 15? How many people can we get to pay 20? And this is the thing that we've talked about before. Stealth, I don't know if Stealth is here. He proved to us when we were that video game that Disney had, Mirrorverse or whatever that thing was called, and on the mobile thing, he paid $5. And when he paid $5, the next offer to him was $10 because they were seeing how far he could go, right? And then he paid the $10. And then the next one was up to $100. Well, I would assume if he paid $100, they would try to give him the next tier of $1,000, right? And that's just what it is. It doesn't matter if a majority says, you know what, I'm not paying $20 for Game Pass, right? That's too rich for my blood, right? 25 million people, majority of them are like, I don't want to pay $20. But then there's a percentage that will pay $40, which covers the base of that. And then, yes, that is the saturation point as well. Okay, there's always going to be a saturation point, and they don't care if there's a million people paying $10 or if there's 500,000 people paying $30. If they could do less for more, they will. Obviously, it's subjective to the individual, but regardless, there's usually a no-go point. Sail the open seas. Also, if you play all the games on Game Pass, you never build a library. If you stop paying, you have nothing. Right, and that's just like anything else. Any streaming service, right? All these games I enjoy and take in, they're gone. Just like your television shows, just like your YouTube videos that you watch. You watch a YouTube video, okay? You're not owning that YouTube video. You're just watching the content, and then you watch it, get the information, and it shoots out of your head, and you're done with it, right? There's no difference, right? You watch a movie on Netflix, you watch a movie on HBO Plus, Apple, Paramount, whatever. You watch that movie, you don't care. When that movie's done, you're not like, man, that was a good movie. I'm gonna go buy the DVD. There's so minute people doing that now, especially off of Netflix. They're just like, I'll just watch it again if I want to. If not, well, it's over. That's the problem with digital media, which is a perfect transition, right, into our next thing. We're watching Kingard, and he's got a video here called "The Dark Side of Digital Media." It came out about a month ago, so we're gonna watch that here in just a second. Anyone still download YouTube videos? I do when I travel. Like if I see something, like before I get on the plane, I see some stuff, I'll download them before I get on the plane, and then I'll watch them on the plane. PL says, as a game enthusiast, I still like owning my games and sharing them. I don't care about movies or music, but I'm okay paying for a service to access them. But games too, they're going to hurt in the end. I love physical games. I own a shit ton of digital games, and I don't own any of them, right? There's a part of me that if I got off of YouTube, okay, I would only get games that I could physically get copies for. But because I'm a content creator and certain games come out and you got to keep up with the Joneses, you buy it digitally because it's there, it's convenient, and stuff, right? Like Jedi Survivor last year when we bought it, or Hogwarts Legacy, right? I wasn't gonna wait because I don't pre-order. I buy the day of. Okay, it comes out that day. I buy it and I download it, right? I don't go to the store to GameStop and pick it up and whatnot. If I wasn't a YouTuber, I would literally only buy physical copies. And if I didn't have a physical copy, then I wouldn't buy the game. Right? And you guys could say it's hypocritical and stuff like that. You know, I'm a hypocrite, but you know, there's business and then there's personal, right? A lot of the stuff I don't buy CDs anymore, but I also don't even listen to music anymore, right? I barely even listen to Spotify. Okay. I have Spotify account because of my podcast that I put on Spotify. Okay. But I don't pay for the monthly fee of Spotify. Right? I don't listen to music. I don't buy. I can't remember the last time I bought a movie. Like a physical DVD movie. I can't remember the last time. And I come from where I used to be in the industry, and I would buy all my movies. I have over 500 DVDs. Right? And I don't do that now. Right? I can look on the wall next to me and see all my 360 games, all my Xbox One games, all my PlayStation 4 games, all my Nintendo games. But this cycle, there's nothing. This is all I got physical. Hold on. Oh no, I'm mistaken. It's not even this system. It's Xbox One. I have 12 physical copies of games, and 2 of them don't exist anymore. Okay? With this one, I have 0 games, right? I have 0 games for the Xbox Series X in physical form. Right? My PlayStation 4 physical games, I have 7. To be fair, this time around, there's only barely like 3 or 4. No, I would say, like, I would love to own Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order physical copies, right? But I played them on this, so or Xbox One as well. I would like Hogwarts Legacy. I would have liked a Baldur's Gate 3 physical copy, but that came after. You know what I mean? Like, there's a couple of games I would love to own the physical copy. Red Dead Redemption 2, which I think I do own. Right? There's certain games. All right, let's watch this one. That's our buddy Kingert. He does good content. His link is in the description below. His name. You can click on his name in the description below if you like his stuff and go check it out. Let's make sure that the volume is up.
Have you noticed the DVD aisles are looking a little bare recently? Target says they're going to be selective about DVD sales. And
did we watch this before? I don't think I've watched this, but
Best Buy says they're not selling.
I know we did. I know we did stories on this. Maybe that's why it's hitting me. I didn't have a red line on the video, so
Them at all as of 2024. Do you want to see the pinnacle of human artistic achievement but don't own a physical copy of Spaceballs?
Fucking great movie. Did you hear that they're making Spaceballs 2? They're in talks right now to make Spaceballs 2. And Mel Brooks is supposed to be involved in it, right? And he's on his last days, okay? But I don't know if I want a Spaceballs 2. I don't know if I want Spaceballs 2. Spaceballs is fantastic.
Prepare to die.
Time to Google where you can stream it this month. But how about video games? These days, most people's catalogs aren't sitting on a shelf, they're sitting in a hard drive. I mean, some games are only available through digital download.
Hold on, I think it's just a little too loud. Let me bring it down a little bit.
download. Pick up a copy of Fortnite from Walmart and ta-da! It's a code for downloading a character skin. I wonder how many parents got this for their little ones for Christmas, only to find out later that it's a digital download free-to-play game. My
Right. People don't know. A lot of people don't know.
sister-in-law sure did. You want to get jump scared by janitors in Alan Wake 2? Pretty funny.
Go! In this forbidden for your own safety.
He was not there a second ago. Digital only, sorry. At this point, you could be asking, so
Not anymore. They're coming out with the physical copy of Alan Wake 2.
what if it's digital, Kingard? We still buy it, therefore we still own it.
well, the truth is, we don't. Let's get into it.
Netflix. All the movies you want, $20 a month, and no late fees.
Once upon a time, if someone was looking for a better deal,
Yeah, that's a great. What a fucking great transition. I honestly didn't know this was. It's almost like I plan these things.
than spending $20 to buy a movie or $60 to buy a game, they would turn to services like Netflix or Gamefly. Getting discs in the mail from Netflix's original business model seems dated now. I mean, it started in 19...
Well, Netflix is opening up movie theaters now. We talked about that yesterday, right? I'm sorry. They're opening up venues. They're opening up venues, not movie theaters in a mall, but they're opening up in a mall.
1997, but it was a pretty sweet deal considering who their competition was, the almighty Blockbuster.
Nice.
And same for Gamefly, but with video games. Instead of having to rush to your local video rental store to have to beat an old lady with a stick for the newest Spider-Man movie on release night, you could come home from work and maybe
You remember that? You remember going to Blockbuster and the new releases, they would have it on that one shelf and they would have like 20, 30 copies. If it was a really popular movie, they would have like 50 copies, and everyone's running back there and throwing like elbows to try to get they're like, you run up there and try to throw your kid up there. Right, get in there, go underneath the guys, see if you can grab the ones from the lower shelf. Adults don't want to bend down and grab the one from the bottom shelf.
maybe your next movie was sitting in your mailbox waiting for you. Keep it as long as you want, send it off when you're done, and your next one will be in a couple of business days. Simple stuff. But the trade-off here was pretty clear. If you wanted the next game or movie on your wish list, you had to send the current one back, or
Right.
keep paying the monthly subscription.
That's the same thing as Blockbuster, right? You had to bring back your movies before you got the next one. You only allowed to rent like 3 or 5, whatever.
Feed to just keep the disc in your house. A good way to try out something, sure, but for people who want to feel like they own their media, this ain't it, Chief. As internet capabilities and streaming devices evolved in the mid-2000s, instant gratification and convenience became more and more of a priority. In 2005, Valve changed its Steam
Jesus. 2004, 2005?
software from a site that just updated Valve games to a storefront for third-party titles where people could buy and download games directly from Steam. And sure, plenty of PC titles could be downloaded from different launchers even before this, but Steam's success and growth over time dramatically increased the popularity of PC gaming for the average gamer household and helped smaller titles from smaller studios increase their reach. In 2007, Netflix launched its video streaming service. No more waiting a few business days between each Medea movie, now you could stream them back to back right from your living room. Well, if they were available anyway. The
Right.
selections weren't always the best starting out. I mean, watching Netflix on my Wii at the time felt like I was scrolling through 80
Oh, God, I remember trying that myself. Playing off your Wii, the Netflix.
80% westerns and 20% other movies from the 70s, and the picture quality was usually never comparable.
Yeah, this is bad. This is what saying earlier, right? Streaming services don't give you the best quality, right? Even when they tell you it's 4K, it's not.
So just buying a Blu-ray, but there were 1,000
The best media you can watch is Blu-ray. Blu-ray is so good. Don't ever pay for $20 for a digital movie to own. Go out and find a DVD, okay, Blu-ray of that movie, and it's fantastic.
options to choose from. And there were other digital rental sites that tried their hand at this too, but Netflix's selection just kept growing and growing and helped it keep its spot as the top service. And as the Netflix catalog continued to grow, the snowball that would become the Netflix juggernaut started quickly replacing things like cable and satellite TV in the average household.
Which now are opening up movie theaters again.
After all, why wait for scheduled programming when you could watch what you wanted to watch when you wanted to watch it?
Does anybody else hate this? Like, when you sit down, it's almost like having the same thing, you come back from work. You work all day, 8, 10, 12 hours, whatever you guys do, okay? And then you come back, you're like, I have an hour or two to play a game or watch a movie. But because it's all digital now, you just don't know what you want to play or what you want to watch. And then you start scrolling through the endless scroll of what's new, what am I interested in? And it takes fucking forever. And by the time you find a movie that you want to watch or a game you want to play, you've already wasted an hour, right? You're already like, you know what? I'm just not going to play. I'm just not going to watch.
And over time, gaming consoles leaned into digital downloads as well. They wanted to make sure they could get their products in front of customers with the lowest barrier of entry possible too. But with this convenience came another price. Price that isn't measured by money, licenses. Let's take a look at the Steam terms of service, and we're going to see something interesting. The game is being licensed to you, and you hereby acknowledge that no title or ownership in the game is being transferred or assigned, and these terms should not be construed as a sale of any rights in the game.
Hold on. There you go. So anybody that thinks that you own your video games, you're delusional.
Microsoft, when you purchase software, you are actually purchasing a license to use the software rather than purchasing the software itself. Sony, when you order content from PlayStation Store, you buy a personal license to use that content for private, non-commercial use. This means you can use a product in the ways described in the license, but you do not own the product. Nintendo? Nintendo grants
I like how you're like, Nintendo?
you a limited, non-sub-licensable license. Nintendo may revoke this license at any time. And this isn't limited to platforms and consoles.
Nope.
Fortnite, Activision Blizzard games, Ubisoft
Right. It's in the games that you're playing off the platforms that you're playing them on.
games. Even single-player games often include wording that summed up say, you don't own this, we do, and we can take it from you at any time. Now, if you really want to get technical, you could say this has always been kinda true even with physical media. See,
The difference between physical media, and he'll probably say this, okay? The difference between physical media is I could take that game. As long as I have the box that it plays on, I can play that game to the end of time. Until the disc runs out or until the system blows up. I can give it to my best friend. I can give it to the neighbor. They can give it back to me. I can sell that thing, right? I could do thousands of things with it. I can use it as a coaster, a frisbee, a book door, a book stop, or right, a door stop. I can use that physical thing as I see fit. Yes, I don't own it. I bought just a single copy of it, and if I make a copy of that, it's against the law and whatnot. Sure, but I own that fucking game.
here's some of my favorite movies that made me the man I am today. Feel free to pause if you want to see if
Oh, we're pausing. All right, Pirates of the Caribbean. All right, cool. Jaws. All right, Jurassic Park. That's the original Jurassic Park, right? We got Lord of the Rings. Okay, Spider-Man. Okay, the first three, Star Wars and Spaceballs. I mean, you're good with me, Kinger. You're good with me.
I'm a man of culture. But owning these movies is different from owning, say, this dog. Mwah. Oh, thank you, sweet girl. Or this one. Or this one. Ollie is scared of the room, so a picture will have to do, but this one too. Nobody else owns the rights to the dog boys but me. But for this masterpiece of a box set, I own the discs, I own the plastic, I own the paper and cardboard that make up the box. However, even one of these boxes makes clear I don't own the movie itself, the intellectual property that is Jurassic Park. And on physical media, there's usually some verbiage about you're not allowed to redistribute this film or copy it, it's for private use only. But I like simple, and my simple monkey brain says I can put these DVDs in any disc player I want, whenever I want, and so long as the disc and the player functions, I can
Thank you, Kinger.
watch the movie. I can let someone borrow this. I can sell it to somebody. Just kidding, I will never redistribute this product for profit. You get the idea. If Universal or Amblin decided they didn't want me to have access to this anymore, they'd have to physically come to my house and pry this from my cold, dead fingers.
Your proposal
That's right.
is acceptable.
And that's not cost effective, by the way. Okay? That's not cost effective. To come to everyone's house and knock down their door and take all their games away from them because they don't want Ted to give it to Susie.
And not just that, they'd also have to monitor me 24/7 for the rest of my life to make sure I never got my hands on another physical copy, which would be ridiculous, right? I hope. But
Soon.
what happens when the media is digital or the disc in it has a key that detects licensure? Well, at that point, we're relying solely on the provider of the content to keep giving us access to the content over time. But I mean, they would never take away.
Wait, what was that? What was that? He had one frame in there. He had one frame in there. What was that, Kingard? What was it? Come on. We're almost there. He had a couple frames of his smile in there.
They would never take away our access to the media we bought, right? We bought it. They wouldn't do that.
No,
right?
they would never do that until they do it.
When it comes to streaming services, it is a little bit more obvious. If the content you want rotates out of a service that you do have and into a service that you don't, or no service
I fucking hate that. It's like, where do I watch it today? I want to watch a movie. What streaming service is it on?
at all, tough luck, champ, your access is gone. And anyone who subscribes to things like Netflix or Game Pass or Spotify knows not all content is available all the time. If you remember, it was a big deal when shows
Nice one, Sarge. Ted is giving it to Susie.
like Friends or The Office left Netflix. I know people that's all they watched on Netflix, and now they had to figure out what other streaming service to pay for.
Wait a minute. They only watched Friends on Netflix? Just go buy the fucking discs.
Shows like Friends or The Office left Netflix. I know people that's all they watched on Netflix, and now they had to figure out what other streaming service to pay for to keep watching it, and that's in addition to their Netflix account if they wanted to keep that. Or
Hold on a second. If you're only watching Friends or The Office, you can literally go buy the whole complete box set. Okay? The complete box set of this. Yeah, I know, Kingard. I know. I'm just, for cheaper than you are paying monthly for that for the entire year.
I mean,
And there it is, right? Just go buy the just go buy the disc. Fucking A, man.
but what about outside of streaming with the digital media that you purchase a license for? Well, here's what losing that looks like. In December of 2023, Sony removed all movies and shows by Discovery straight out of the media libraries of customers who had purchased them.
That's right. Purchased doesn't mean purchased anymore. Right? Sony removed all movies and shows from Discovery. Doesn't matter if you paid for it, doesn't matter if you purchased it, gone.
It looks like Discovery didn't want to renew their license with Sony, so maybe Sony's not the bad guy here? I don't
They are.
know. Maybe Sony offered garbage terms.
They're all bad guys.
So Discovery said no thanks. Whoever's fault it is, this would be like Sony kicking your door in, swiping your DVD collection off your shelf, and saying, thanks for your continued support on the way out the door. But, digitally. In March of 2024, Ubisoft completely deactivated their 2014 game The Crew. As in, doesn't matter how you bought it, when you bought it, or even if you use its multiplayer features, it's gone. Ubisoft said their
Yeah, we talked about that a couple months ago when it happened.
decision was based on server infrastructure and licensing constraints. I mean, I hope nobody bought this game like February 2024. I guess if you did buy it just before this, let us know in the comments how Ubisoft's middle finger felt. Then, in the gaming controversy heard around the galaxy, in May of 2024, Sony, oh hey, it's Sony again, crazy, announced that Helldivers 2, their smash hit game that restored hope to many a cynical gamer and was on the verge of bridging the console wars, would begin requiring PC players to make a PlayStation account to continue playing it?
What the hell? does this have to do with anything?
Don't care how much money you paid for it. Don't care if you've already been playing it for months.
Right.
Sony needed to show PlayStation accounts to their shareholders, so sign up.
Service guarantees citizenship.
That's right.
But don't worry, gamers. Your data is safe with Sony. But I mean,
if you guys don't know, that's all the hacks that's happened for that one company. And not to say that Sony's the only one that gets hacked, but you know.
Sony didn't take the game away from paying customers, right? Like the Helldivers 2 community manager said, it's just a couple of painless minutes to make a PlayStation account.
Anybody could do this and get to keep playing the game they bought, right?
Tell that to the 177 countries in the world where PlayStation Network isn't available, but people could still buy Helldivers 2. This wasn't like the PC version of Ghost of Tsushima where Sony just stopped selling it and refunded people before it actually launched. This time they were straight up removing the ability for paying customers to play the game they'd already bought. People could have been playing the game for months since it came out just to have their access to it yoinked.
Yoink!
Look, maybe that 177 number of countries isn't exact. Geography is my worst category in Trivial Pursuit, but that doesn't matter. Sony's
Trivial Pursuit. That's a name I haven't heard for a long time.
Anti-consumer practice of removing a paid product from a paying customer shouldn't have happened in one country, or even to one person. Seriously, this Helldivers 2 debacle should be studied and referenced in consumer protection law till the end of time. Now granted, the Steam page said Helldivers 2 on PC would require a PlayStation account, but I have a question. Why in the name of sweet liberty was Helldivers 2 even available to purchase at all in the countries where PlayStation Network isn't available?
Because they wanted to make more money.
For months. Not to mention, in the middle of this PR firestorm, Sony tried to pull a fast one and change their terms of
Signing into PlayStation is optional when playing PlayStation games on PC. Change to some PlayStation games may require you to sign in a link to account on PlayStation Network. Nice.
service from it's optional to it's required. Sneak level 100. Nicely done. Thankfully, Sony did reverse this decision after a few 100,000 negative Steam reviews, but fellow Helldivers, democracy almost lost. But hey, I'm proud of you gamers. Way to show the suits your backbone. Seriously. Almost brings a tear to my eye.
Now do that for $20 skins.
Now don't let the PR
Preach that.
bros fool you though. The only thing Sony actually reversed is making all PC players link with a PlayStation Network account. All the people in those countries at the time of recording this are still out of luck. It's debatable whether or not Sony had to reverse this decision at all, legally speaking, and I'm no attorney, so my opinion on this is about as useful as nipples on a man. But if nothing else, this helped
What are our nipples for? Crazy.
blast to the mainstream the gravity of just how little control we consumers have over the digital goods we purchase. Now that it's out there that our digital libraries can be taken from us at any time, what happens now? Here's my predictions that may or may not age well.
Tinfoil hat. Nice.
New hardware will more often not include.
That's correct. We've predicted this a long time ago, where I said it's got to be 4 or 5 years ago. I said that they will sell you a detachable disk drive to the thing that you already want, because they want you to get the system with no disk drive to force you into their ecosystem, and then they'll sell you a detachable disk drive for more money, so they can make more money on the peripherals and whatnot.
Include ways to play physical media, if any of them do at all. Physical media, like shows, books, games, they'll disappear eventually. Our access to these
I don't think books and physical media will disappear entirely, but it will be very, very small, like vinyl.
things will be completely dependent on what service we're subscribed to and when they decide to provide us with the content on those services. Anytime we're watching our favorite movie or TV show, it could be the last time we get to watch that movie or TV show. Digital content will be updated over time, like we've seen with
Right, House? I've got nipples, Greg. Can you milk me? Oh man.
Stranger Things and the original Star Wars trilogy. Maybe it's to retcon narrative choices, maybe it's for political sensitivity, maybe it's just to update
Hey, look, there's the Jabba that they digitally put in, like I told you about. That wasn't in the original.
special effects. But whatever the reason, we will be stuck with the newest version, for better or for worse. Outside of the subscription services, digital media will continue to be removed from customers' catalogs as licenses expire and deals between companies fall through.
So let me make this clear, right? Everyone's like, I'm always going to buy physical media until you're not, because they're going to take it out of the possibility of you buying it. If the industry decides, if Microsoft and Sony decide that they don't want to put their games in stores anymore, Target, Best Buy, all of these brick and mortar stores will be like, okay, right? Because that's what the industry has decided. How do we make more sales? Well, sales are down in digital and we don't want to do physical anymore. We would make more money if we got rid of the physical disc and just put them all towards digital. So how do we do this? Well, let's make all our consoles digital so they can't get physical copies anymore for the new systems. So let's just take that away from them. And the small percentage of the people that still have it will have a small little section of physical, but majority will be digital. And that way, if they get rid of it, they'll still have the digital codes for you. So you'll walk into Target, you'll walk into Best Buy, you see those little cards on the thing, you can pull one off and it has a little digital code in the back. You can buy from physical, but they're controlling what you want. Okay, they're like, well, I'm going to buy physical. Well, the only way you can buy physical is if they let you buy physical, or if there's a used copy somewhere in other stores that are also closing down, or used copies on the internet, or limited run games, right? Limited run games, I guarantee you, is going to be very successful because as games get off the shelves, limited run games will do much better for them. The only one benefiting from this is limited run games.
For gaming, purchasing games outright will be a thing of the past, not just for physical media. The smaller game studios are going to struggle to compete with the larger companies,
Absolutely,
even more than they already do, which will diminish competition in game development, making it where the big franchises get bigger and continue to be milked until the end of time, rather than seeing as many new, fresh IPs.
Keep that gelatinous gold a-flowing!
When a new game does come out, say like the next Madden, Battlefield, or Call of Duty, the subscription service they're on will temporarily remove older entries in the series to encourage us to play the newest one.
That's right.
And hopefully buy microtransactions, of course, which will likely become more intrusive and aggressive and gameplay impacting than cosmetics are today. If companies are complaining about how expensive game development is now, imagine what it'll be like when almost every game is on a subscription service. They will tell us that they have to turn the heat up on microtransactions, and many will believe them. We might even see subscriptions be required to play a single game more often, like with Final Fantasy XIV, except the free trial being even shorter than it is with that game if new games will have one at all. Games will be removed from players' catalogs if they don't agree to ever change.
Right, because they will just give you the option, either agree or you can't play. They've always done this in other companies as well, right?
Terms of service, and this will become even more common and accepted by gamers than it is right now. After all, repeated exposure to bad practices in the gaming world breeds tolerance, and tolerance breeds acceptance eventually.
That's right. They condition you. They condition you into being okay with what they're doing.
My videos and comment sections show several examples of this. Which brings us to the big question, what do we do about this? Well, I could tell you to avoid physical media entirely, and if
digital. He said digital there. He said physical, but he put digital.
it requires an online connection, then avoid it like the plague. I could tell you to support people like Accursed Farms, who's sending petitions to different world governments specifically about digital consumer protection. I'll put a link for that video of his in the description if you want to hear what he has to say and check out his petitions. But at the end of the day, when it comes between the more affordable option that offers more convenience and temporary access versus permanent ownership of a product, the only person who can decide which of those things is more important to you is you. As subscriptions and digital access
Sales charts, adult graphic novel sales fall 22.4% in bookstores in 2023.
Continues to phase out physical media, just remember, when it comes to digital media, we own nothing. Labeling a game early access is one way that I've seen companies try to take away our rights as players, and here's a video about that right here. It's an older one of mine, so go easy on it, would you?
Did we watch the beta problem? I don't know if we did.
Thank you to the channel members for voting on the topic of this video, and as always, thanks for watching. Kingered out.
There you go. So there's another video of Kingard. Another good video. Give him support. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button over on his channel. His name is in the description down below as well, so you can click on his name. All right. So yeah, what he said. What he said. That's exactly right. What's going to happen to physical media and what's happened to digital? He said, don't buy the digital media if it has online access. And as Robert Jones says, right, that's every game. That's all games, right? So then you have to decide what games you do not want to buy, right? If you go along with what he's saying, then you wouldn't play a video game ever again. And this is why they add online to most of them, because they want to put microtransactions or some storefront inside of their game. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a need for that game to be online. Can you disagree to any TOS or private policy and get into any game? No. You have to hit OK. And the data, the track metric, of course, because they want to know what you're doing, what people do in the game. So when they make the next game, let's say 30% of people didn't do side quests. They're like, well, let's do less side quests in the next game, right? How many people finished the actual game? All right, well, let's make the campaign just a little shorter, the main campaign a little shorter, right? How many guns do we put in? How many people did the guns find? They know all that data. Even those little games that you buy, like the all-in-one purpose games, when they sell you like the Atari controller or the little mini Nintendo or the little Sega Genesis, all that shit. It's like, because a lot of people can't go out and buy the old Sega Genesis and stuff like that, right? If you're one of the people that still has a Sega Genesis or Nintendo or Super NES or stuff like that, they can still work. You plug it in, you put your game in, and you play. But a lot of people don't have that, so they make it now digital, where you can put 1,000 games. They can put 1,000 games, on a little thumb drive or whatever it is, which is crazy. If you disagree with the TOS at all, it either doesn't install the game or it exits the game. Right? You have to agree to it. Yeah. Like think about this, right? Imagine if I had control of my YouTube channel, where I'm like, hey, you guys want to watch the next topic that I'm going to talk about? You got to click the button, and if you don't, all of a sudden you get kicked out. And only the people that click the button can watch the next topic I talk about, right? You'd be like, go fuck yourself, 30, right? Go fuck yourself. Terms of service is that you have to hit this button, right? It's like, this is exactly what would happen. Why is that go fuck yourself? But when they do it, it's like, well, because you really, really, really want to play the game. Game refund policies are also completely bullshit, right? And this is what I'm saying. This is what I said in the very beginning of the show, House. I don't know if you were here. I said, how about if a game is incomplete, right, broke, buggy, and unfinished, that I can get a refund for that game until that game comes out 100% complete. Right? Do you know what I mean? If your game comes out broke, buggy, unfinished, and incomplete, then I get to have a refund of that game up until the point that game... So think about that. No Man's Sky took 2 years to get to where it was, where it recovered from itself. I should be able to get a refund for that game the entire time, up until it's actually fixed. Right? Not 2 hours, 2 years. would like to see a law where you can opt in for TOS and get refund if they change it. Right, and then here's another thing that we haven't even talked about, okay? Louis Rossman, I think that's his name, right, on the channel. He's talked about it on his channel, and we watched one of his videos live here, okay? They changed the TOS, and if you agreed to the first TOS, which didn't have those rules changes, they automatically say that you're okay with the next one, right? They don't re-put the TOS out there again for you to say okay. They literally just change it and tell you they're changing it, but you don't get to agree with it again, right? That's another fucking scummy thing. Nate says, I love digital. I have a Series S, and I'm getting a digital PlayStation 5 on the 3rd. And you are one of the people that are okay with it, right? And the people that are not okay with it have an issue with it. And the problem with this is, Nate, if you want to do it, cool. Okay, but how about an option? How about an option where I can still buy my physical media? How about an option where I can have a disk drive still in my system? Right? How about an option where I can actually not sign the TOS of your stupid rules? Lewis did a video about LG TVs. If you own an LG TV, by default, you automatically let them spy on you for what you're watching. They have a control of your audio device. They can listen in. Okay, you have to go to inside your LG TV and go to security settings and shut that off. You have to opt in to shut that off. Like the Borg say, resistance is futile. Roadkill says that's probably in a lot of products that you don't even know, but even in your phones, right? If you have an LG TV, Sarge, here, hold on a second. I'll tell you what section it's under. You got to go down to, I think it's all settings, advanced or all settings. Yeah, LG monitors as well. And then you got to go down to, I think it's general. Yeah. You have to go down to general and then go to additional settings and then scroll all the way down to where it says, do not sell my personal information. Okay. And what it says in this, it says activating this toggle will cause LGE to instruct the third-party providers to cease commercializing your personal information. Please note that this toggle does not affect certain services operated by third parties who collect your personal information in accordance with their own private policies. Please read the personal policies regarding their collection and use of personal information. It's just off a SoundStrip service. I don't get fucking clicked because it's a lot better than just silence in the background. Roadkill. It's songs from Soundstrip. It's called the Corporate Cast. It's the top corporate tracks trending amongst podcasters. I pay for a service, so when I have music in the background, it doesn't boot me off of YouTube. But if I stop paying for it, all my videos that you hear the music in, they would get demonetized. See how that works? Yeah, to make your point, if I remember correctly, Destiny 2's TOS is specific wording that says that you auto agree on any changes of the TOS, hence why you don't see much about the changes. Right. And they could just keep changing what it is. Exactly, options. Not what we believe are options or more weight condition us to resist the BS. Right. And I look, if Nate wants to come in here and says, well, I'm getting digital thing, and I'm not making fun of Nate, right? Cool. Just I want options, right? I don't want to be told that this is what it is. I want to be told that, hey, we have this option where we want to collect your information. Are you cool with that? And I go, yeah, okay. Or no, fuck you. I don't want you to get more information from me. Okay? Because if you want information from me, information's money. Great. You want my information? How about you give me a discount on stuff? How about you give me a percentage of stuff, right? Because I'm what you're milking, right? Talking about nipples, okay? Right? I'm what you're milking. You're milking me for information so you could sell to other people so you can make money in the background. What I never understood is why it exists, period. Like if it's buying a computer, let's say, should it be you was that overclock it, and you get nothing? Companies should have a TOS if you fuck something up. Check Discord real quick. All right, give me a second. What did you... Oh, registration. And welcome. Let's get started. Very positive. What is this for? By clicking this, you get to start the accept the agree the terms of use of agreement as well as acknowledge. So what is this that you sent me here? I would have to read this. What I sent you is one of the many personal cleaners. It takes your information off the internet. I highly recommend people find a service or whether to learn to do it or pay for it. Okay, I'll bookmark that. I'll read into it. No. Yeah, it's the same thing. Charge. Yeah. All right. The next video I want to watch is Co-Carnage. He has a video called "The Future of Game Development." No, Xbox, you got to fight and ask to talk to managers for a refund. I've never, in the problems I had with Microsoft way back when, was for the Red Ring of Death, and that was a hassle. For Sony, I've also been hassled a lot about stuff, right? So each their own on what company you like, but all companies are full of shit. I had the worst experience with Apple, and I worked for Apple for about 2 years. And when Steve Jobs died, that company went to shit. So... I did not. Roadkill. I don't even know who that is. Who's Kai's? Oh, the kid that had Kevin Hart. Was Kevin Hart high on his stream? Oh, is this the guy? Wait a minute. Was this the kid that was giving out free PlayStations in the middle of Times Square and then got a mob and had a mob downtown? Is that the guy? That same YouTuber? He did like 150 hours Steam of Elden Ring. And now we made a movie, like a movie trailer for DLC. Yeah, he started a riot. That guy? Yeah, I'm good. I haven't seen it. All right, let's watch this video from Carnage talking about the future of game development.
And I can safely say I am concerned for the future of gaming.
Jump into the
Concerned for the future of gaming? Say it ain't so, Co. Say it ain't so.
Arkham verse.
There's
Batman
fishing, we're
Arkham
done.
Shadow is a MetaQuest 3 exclusive VR game coming later this year.
Dude.
Batman, you face.
So when I say I am concerned, that is of course a very incendiary statement. I both am and I'm not. Why? What I am actually concerned about, and I'm not, and concerned isn't the right word. What is clearly happening is it looks like AAA is taking a breather. Looks like AAA is taking a breather.
AAA is taking a breather. Okay. I can see what he's saying. I can see what he's putting down. Okay. But are they taking a breather on purpose? That's the question.
Breather.
Our industry is evolving and changing. Smaller teams and new creators are finding incredible success. New ideas, new teams, and smaller creators can and will break through.
We didn't get any announcements of any major AAA titles next year or the year after. And more importantly, what that shows us is the rest of this year, not necessarily the rest, next year in particular, is going to be interesting. Now, here's the thing. Interesting doesn't mean bad. Interesting does not mean bad. Because...
But it also doesn't mean good. Right? But it also doesn't mean good.
Here's the thing. Think of game dev in this case like a forest, right?
Okay. I got you. Forest.
And the thing about forests is that trees get big and then they go out. And when they get big and get out, they create shade. And that shade means that little plants don't get a chance to grow and become big trees themselves. So what's happening now is that forest, those big AAA trees are falling. They have been falling and now they are falling. So what's going on is even though the forest is a little emptier right now, there's a lot more opportunity for sun.
Okay. But I kind of like the analogy he's saying. But at the same time, I mean, we've talked about this on GXG with Sarge and on this stream. Okay. EA and Activision, and let me go back to this analogy here, right? Ubisoft, EA, and Activision were all small companies at one point. But the forest was pretty fucking bare back then. There wasn't very many trees in that forest. Okay. So when those trees started gaining strength and growing because they were getting the water meaning the money, okay, they were growing nice and big and full, and they were making shade for the rest, and other independent developers can't really grow. But now we're talking about thousands and thousands of trees, okay, thousands and thousands of trees where they all can't take up the same space, so they're all not going to be giant trees. They're all going to be mid-sized tier trees, right? They don't have to make the mega corporation money of EA and Ubisoft and Activision Blizzard, right? They can make the money like what happened here with Pocket Pair that made Pal World, okay? Well, they're making a shit ton of money for their size studio, and that size studio can just stay where they are. They don't have to become the next EA. They don't have to become the next Ubisoft, right? But in business terms, they do. In business terms, they do. And because they do, because businesses have to keep doing this, they will close down. There won't be companies, majority of the companies that are the small guys in the shade will close shop. They will get bought up by the bigger stuff, or the trees. The bigger trees will suck the nutrients out of the other trees because they can't grow, and the bigger tree needs to get more substance. Okay, so it will eat up these smaller content creators or the developers in this segment, and then they'll just chew them up and spit them out just like everything else. The cycle continues. The cycle continues. See, EA is not taking a break from AAA games. Ubisoft's not taking a break from AAA games. They're just taking their money, buying up other smaller studios, and then pretending that they're the little guy.
They have been falling, and now they are falling. So what's going on is, even though the forest is a little emptier right now, there's a lot more opportunity for sun, and there's a lot more ground that's getting it.
But the opportunity is in making good games. I'll go back to my saying all the time: make a game, sell a game. I will never, ever stop saying that. If you make a game, people will come and find your game and play your game.
And that means that indie devs that don't need all those...
No one's talking, Sarge. I have no idea. If no one's saying anything in chat.
Resources.
Last one was crowded.
A lot more room and a lot more money that can be sent their way. And that could be really great for them.
Let me hear.
Devs that don't need all those resources have a lot more room and a lot more money that can...
But that's just it. You don't need more money to make a better game. You can make a great game in the budget that you're at. Look at Tunic. Look at Cuphead. Right? Those budgets are not what Spider-Man and stuff is, and they're great games.
Can be sent their way. And that...
Yeah, and you know where else they're getting their money from, right? Right, you're getting that money from that DEI stuff, because that's where the money's going. They're like, oh, well, we can't get into these big guys, so let's go to the small guys. They need money. Well, let's give them money.
That could be really great for them, because now they have an opportunity to thrive in an environment where they don't have nearly as much competition, and that could be great for gamers.
That could be great, but it also could not be great based on who is giving the money.
So that part is kind of awesome.
See, I would rather have a company like that made Pal World, okay? Pocket Pair, is that what they're called? Something like that? Pixel Pair? Okay, what was their names? Pocket Pair, okay? That made Pal World, where now they have money, where they made a game, people love their game, and now they have enough money to go do what they want. They don't need outside sources giving them money. They don't need outside investors giving them money, right? Helldivers, even though PlayStation's the backing of that, they've made good money off of that, okay? Hello Games, they had Sony money, and it backfired in their face, and then they worked their asses off to make the game good, and now they have Hello Game money, okay? And they don't need outside sources to give them money. They can make the games that they want to make.
Great for gamers. So that part is kind of awesome. So it's the thing that's really interesting to think about is it's kind of hard to see the forest for the trees right now, because it's kind of hard to see the cloud, because when you're in a cloud, you don't see the cloud. It's only when you're outside of it that you see it. And what it's looking like is we may be in the cloud right now of the gaming sphere actually going through a metamorphosis of these large pillars that have existed for decades actually tumbling, and all of these indies are now going to have a chance to succeed. Now we have 25 million PAL worlds. We've got, million sale core keepers. We've got the Terrarias.
Sure.
We've got the Haunted Chocolatiers. We've got all these awesome little tiny titles that are becoming wildly successful. Yeah, this art style is amazing.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they're going to become the next. But they don't have to, right? Those companies don't have to become the next big titans. There's a place for everybody. There's a place for everybody, right? I'll use YouTube as an example. Okay. There's the bigger channels out there that have 1 million, 3 million, 4 million, the Mr. Beasts out there, right? And that's a popular channel. But you can't have all channels be popular. Do you see what I'm saying? There has to be a high tier, there has to be mid tier, and there has to be low tier. And then there's the non-existent tier, which I'm in. Okay. And it's okay. You could be successful in your area. You don't have to be the Mr. Beast to be successful, right? And be the next big thing, right? There's a small percentage of someone that might be the next Mr. Beast. There might be the next person that might be the next neurotic or critical drinker in that space. But there's a lot of people battling it out in the 30 to 70 or 70 to 100,000 mark. Okay. And then there's the smaller streamers that make content and whatnot. To say that this stops this is not the same. Right? It's not that. Make a game, sell a game. The AAA games are not making good games for the most part because their budgets are extremely high and they don't have to because they know that they can make a game bare minimum, minimal viable product for them to do it. And now people are seeing that and they're like, well, you know what? My value, if I'm going to pay $70 for that game and you're giving me the same game all the time and it comes out broke, buggy, and unfinished, then I'd rather pay someone $20, $30, $40 for a small indie game and have them grow a bit.
Amazing. Wait, is it it's like auto battler plus action? Bro, if this is like a roguelite where you like have builds and stuff, this could be amazing. I am totally checking this out. Hey, oh, wow. There it is. Oh, it's co-op too.
The little prototype of just
here's that fucking game.
A character holding the device.
Oh, how
having
cool.
An endless running motion and jumping at the same time as seeing it in 2D and 3D.
And then the other part of it.
Man, dude. Yeah. I'm going to be blunt. I'm not.
He tried to make a game and ran out of money. He's over ambitious, right? Over ambitious. I like Ko, right? I think he's a nice guy and stuff. Okay. You can't if I make my first game can't be Call of Duty style type of game, right? My first game would be more of like a battle bit type of stuff, right? You got to know what you can do. Sure, we all strive to be the best, but if you don't have the money, right? If I have a couple $1,000, I can't make the next Call of Duty. Okay? You have to get the money that you need. And then the money that you have to have a good team around you to make the product that you want to make. You build it up. So my first game would be this, and then my next game would be bigger, and then my next game would be bigger. Look at Black Myth Wuhan. It's their first game. No, it's not. No, it's not. That is a lie, Salty. They are a mobile game developer. That company made mobile games before they made this game.
I'm not even super interested in this game, but this tech and these guys are awesome. Man, I don't know why jiggling these balls is getting me off so much, but this is great. And yeah, that's kind of awesome because frankly, those games are fantastic. Even better for us, this means that the people, in a lot of ways, that really love games because they just love them are the ones that are going to be making our games and the ones that are going to be getting our money. And that's exciting. Game's great.
Nice. And you may already be playing our first game.
Mars First game's
Mars
awesome.
First Logistics.
And frustrating as fuck.
We're Trinket Studios, creators of
In a good
Battleship
way.
Brigade, and this is our card
Oh, I
battle
played this
RPG,
Battleship Brigade. This is
Battle
actually really good too.
Pieces.
We are Studio Any%, and we're making the Marsfield Archives, a game about building and exploring connections.
How are you going to build a social game called Any%?
Dolphin says, I'm going to make an eggplant clicker game. Do it. Do it.
Are you speed running social stuff? Like,
and a ton of bosses to beat.
Hey, I'm Husband, game director at Huscrofts, and this is...
It's exciting to think that game dev could be starting to shift a bit to where all these billions of dollars of resources that are going into them could maybe start going to the people that actually are like us and love playing and making games, and not just to the giant companies that are taking that money making it a random.
You're asking for people to throw money at something. You have to prove yourself. You have to prove yourself. Companies, if you could bullshit your way into $1 million deal and then make that game, awesome. Okay. But if you can't bullshit your way into a big deal, then you have to sell your house. You got to take 2 mortgages out to make your game the passion that you want to make. Make a game, sell a game.
Number on a spreadsheet and then being proud of that number instead of the product it represents. I'm optimistic. I'm not naive, but I am optimistic. And I do have faith that this is, at the end of the day, a brutal restructuring going on right now. That in a lot of it's one of those things where what's going on in game dev right now is terrible. We're seeing really talented, good people lose their jobs. We're seeing studios.
Sarge, are you on top chat and not live chat? Dolphin did this the other day, saying that people's things weren't showing up. You got to make sure you're in the right chat.
Those closed down. And unfortunately, right now, a lot of the people that cause that pain are not suffering from it. But, and I'm talking about like the people at the heads of these corporations making the decision. Like, they're not the ones that are getting fired. They're not the ones getting their company shut down. So, although it is a terrible, terrible time, just keep in mind that hopefully...
Is it a terrible time? Am I looking at this completely different than everybody else? Right? There is more game developers today than there ever has been on planet Earth. There is more studios and people making video games today than ever before on planet Earth. Okay? Obviously, when you have more people making video games, you're going to have more studios close. Okay? There is nothing different here than was in the 90s, mid-90s, early 90s, early 2000s, mid-2000s, late 2000s, right? All of this is the exact same. Right? I don't think this is a bad thing that's happening. It's the market bears what the market bears, and businesses go out of business all the time. Make a product, sell a product. Your product doesn't make it, you could have... If you put the best product out there, okay, and you're happy with that product, and it just doesn't sell well, as long as you made enough money where you can continue your business to try again, success. If you didn't make the money to put it out there, then you got to try again, okay? Or you close up shop because the people that you teamed up with or the idea that you had just wasn't good enough. It's what it is.
There will be a silver lining here. And more importantly, what I think a lot of people are seeing that love money is that maybe there's better and other industries to make it in that are a lot easier to do.
What does he mean by that? Hold on.
Hopefully there will be a silver lining here. And more importantly, what I think a lot of people are seeing that love money is that maybe there's better and other industries to make it in that are a lot easier to do.
What he's suggesting, and he's 100% correct in saying this, is that there's people in the industry that are not really in the industry to make games. They're in the industry to make money. There's a lot of suits in this industry making money. Well, no shit. Hence, that's what Hollywood is. Hence, that's what entertainment is. The entertainment industry is a bunch of people that were successful in other avenues that have a shit ton of money, and then other people, artists, are usually broke. Just the way it is, okay? And they have to go to the people that have the money. And the money people made their money from other places, and now they're the backers of the actual video game, the movie, the music, the art, whatever it is, okay? And that is how they make their game. They have to depend on someone else's money, unless you are a small company that puts up your house or saves up your life savings and puts it out there and takes a risk and then does it. But if you don't want to take that risk and you think that your game is the best and you ask for money from other person and then it bombs, what it is. To say that those pretenders are going to go somewhere else, that's not how it works. This is the biggest market on planet Earth. If you think that the people that know nothing about video games don't want to be in this business to make money, every time someone makes a movie, it's a risk take of that movie might not make money. But if it does, boy, do you make a shit ton of money. Developing what's the word? Funding of a video game is just as a producer of a movie or a producer of a record. Okay, high risk, high reward. You put your money out there, you might make 10 times the money that you put in. Okay, but to say that maybe they'll go somewhere else. What did he say? One more time.
That hopefully there will be a silver lining here, and more importantly, what I think a lot of people are seeing that love money is that maybe there's better and other industries.
Right. People that love money, maybe they'll go somewhere else. Maybe they'll go somewhere else to make money. Like what? Bitcoin? Right? NFTs? Video games is very lucrative. Very lucrative. Hence why there's minimal viable product. Hence why there's microtransactions.
To make it in that are a lot easier to do. So, like, hopefully the people that are in game dev just for the money are looking at everything going around right now and going, maybe I should go somewhere else.
No, that's not what they're looking at. They're going, wait a minute. I don't have to spend $315 million on Spider-Man. I can spend $6 million on Pal World, right? That's what they're looking at. That's what they're looking at.
And that way, maybe the people that are that are actually making the games can keep making them. We'll see. Anyway, I hope you had fun today. It was fun for me. And I can.
I agree with him with his analogy about the tree stuff, right? About the tree stuff, right? Other companies grow and whatnot, but to think that they're all of a sudden we're in like this metamorphosis stage of gaming, I don't think that's true. I think the metamorphosis of gaming has always been the same. It's just there's so many developers, so many games that come out per day, per month, per year. Okay, what was the stat that we had? How many games come out? Right, last year, 14,531 games were released on Steam. That is insane. Right? 14,531 games just on Steam came out. How many of those companies do you think will make it? Right? How many of those companies do you think will make it? Where they will have another 2 years from now, they will have another game they can put out of the 14,000 games. Right? Remember my analogy for movies, which is not an analogy, it's actual facts. 10 movies get made, 3 make money. 7 don't make money, they go under. If those were businesses, that's 7 businesses that would get closed down and never heard of again. Okay? That's hundreds of thousands of people working on those films that they just got paid. The studio never made money off of those. They just go tax write-off. Goodbye. Okay? 3 movies make money. 1 makes a shit ton of money, and the other 2 make a profit. How many games do you think make a profit? How many games do you think succeed? Is that the typical number just about everything 30? It might be. I only talk about movies because I know that's what it is for movies, right? It could be like that for anything. If I'm a developer, game developer, I have 10 games that are coming out this year. 3 games will probably make money, right? The rest are just, the other 3 pay for the other 7. Right? I would assume it. I'm assuming it's the same, Kurt. I can't talk about it because I don't know about the music industry and stuff like that. I know about the movie industry. But to have 14,000 games, almost 15,000 games, and think that, well, the big guys are ruining it for them. Oh, make a game, sell a game. How many crap games are on Steam? Everyone thinks that, oh yeah, the little guys are gonna are going to come out of nowhere. No, the bigger guys are going to take the money and put it towards the little guys and go, wait, you can make this again, but can you do this for... Did you say you could make a game like this for $6 million? How many copies did you sell? 25 million? That's a good turnaround. $6 million to make 25 million copies? $6 million for Palworld? And they how much was Palworld? Was it 20 bucks? 30 bucks? They spent $6 million and made $500 million? Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Hold on one second, I'm looking up something. Can't find any information. Thousands of games. Yeah, there's a shit ton of games, and a lot of them are trash, by the way. Oh, I did see that, Salty. Yeah, I saw that, and I refused to watch it because I don't want to give it more traction. Mind you, she's an oppressed woman with her white father, by the way. She's so impressed. The white man keeping her down. So stupid. So stupid. If you think, right, if you think that what they're doing in the show after her coming out, okay, first of all, if Disney doesn't do anything about this, right, and just lets it go, then 1,000% it's exactly what they're doing, right? 1,000%. She's literally coming out and attacking fans or whatever. The actress of The Acolyte came out with a music video. I warn you not to watch it because it's terrible. But what she says in the video and whatnot and what she's doing is exactly what she wants to do. She wants people to talk about it. She wants people to show it off. She wants people, right? She literally, she's playing everybody, right? But they're 100% doing everything on purpose, and this proves it. 1,000%. But she made it on her laptop in 72 hours. Bravo. Robert Jones says it might be good for the. you couldn't even get it out, Jones. You couldn't even get it out. I find it funny. Let me see what's happening on Twitter real fast. Oh, I'm not showing it, Dolphin. I'm not showing it. I'm not going to engage with it. It's exactly what they want. The silly part is the customers and the fans are what fund and pay for this stuff. Shit stuff. If the customers stop watching, paying, if you're not paying for something up front, they're making money off the advertisements that you're watching. You got to stop watching the stuff, right? If someone posts a video and you watch their video, they're still making money off of that video. Right? You gotta just stop watching. You have to stop interacting. But people are so obsessed, and at some point they're stupid. They're stupid. They hate what they're watching, but they watch it anyway. It's like watching. You can't stop. You have to watch the car crash, right? You're like, I can't. I gotta watch it, right? People think it's gonna stop if they keep. Now, if you want to talk about it, sure. But showing their stuff and then people going to watch their stuff so they can comment, that's engagement. That's engagement. If you watch the video or you watch the stuff, that's engagement. That gets them revenue. Hence what YouTube is and what Twitter is. If it's something that you're not interested in and then you watch the video, then you're showing them that you're interested in it. That's it. Now, like I said, if you want to speak up about it, yeah, be vocal about the certain things. But to watch the things that you hate, if you hate watch something, you're only helping the cause. You're not helping the cause. Right? Like they hate her so much. They hate her so much that they're going to watch that video and then they'll comment. And then someone will make a video of that going, this video has been seen 10 million times because of it, right? And then she'll laugh about it and go, that's right. You guys gave me, right? You're giving her more fuel. It's like a troll. When a troll comes in and says something, if you interact with it, you fan the flames. But if you just ignore them, they go away. The girl from the Acolyte Titan. Oh, 100% salty. 100%. Yeah, the lead. Yeah. And then you'll get people come out. Oh, she's so stunning. You go, girl. Yeah, you tell them. Right? Those people, as Co was just talking about, the people, maybe they can't make money here. The fake guys will leave the industry, right? That's what this is. These are fake people that are fake fans of the things that you liked. And they get their jollies off of ruining what you love, which makes them feel better about themselves. There's no difference of them when you were in high school and the jock kicked the shit out of the band nerd. There's no difference here. There's no difference. So somebody said, did she get her dance moves abilities from her white dad? That's why I love the internet. That's why I love the internet. Kurt says, I mean, how many people stop and listen to the hobo's wisdom? People don't hang out with the hobo. That's right. Imagine, right? If you can't see the grift happening with the actress from Acolyte, she's an activist. This is not me saying something that we don't know. She's literally said this herself. She was a content creator, now actress, now musician. Okay. She's been from the start. She got a niche by pretending she was in Black Lives Matter and all this other stuff and hating on white people. Her father is white. Her mother is black. Her father is white. Okay. And she's running with the grift of that she hates white people, which is just mind-boggling to me. Right? Mind-boggling to me. So wait, do you hate white people except your father? Because your father is exactly... Have you seen her father? Her father is exactly the guy that she hates. Right? I guarantee you her father is a Star Wars nerd. Dude, that's a dope-ass fucking bar. Look at this. Someone created this. I was just scrolling through. Someone created this bar. That's a dope-ass fucking bar. Look at that. That's impressive. Most impressive. Hold on, I'm trying to find one thing here. Oh, did you guys see the trailer? I'm not going to show it because they'll click me out. The Colin Farrell Penguin show looks pretty good. Well, fan of the Batman universe, I'll watch it. Yeah, I like the movie. I thought he did a good job. I'll probably give it a shot. What's it on? Max? I think we have Max. And if I don't, maybe we'll wait till it all comes out and then I'll watch it. All right. That's going to do it for me today. I appreciate everyone coming out and hanging out with us this morning as we talked about the news and watched some videos. All the stuff that we watched and went over today is in the description down below. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you'd like to go above and beyond that. Become a member as little as $5. If you guys have any feedback for my channel or want to see something else, what you guys want to watch. You can go to our Discord. There's a feedback channel. You can type in there and let me know what you guys think. I appreciate it very much. Saving grace this year is Deadpool. If that flops, we're all screwed. Speaking of Max, do you watch Game of Thrones? I have not seen House of the Dragon. I haven't watched season 1 or I know season 2 just started. So I haven't watched it. I was kind of waiting for that to come out a little bit more before I watched it. I might watch it at the end of season 2, if that's what you're going to ask. Dune 2 was a fun movie. Yeah, I hear good things about it. I love Game of Thrones up until like season 6. And then 7 and 8 were just terrible. Highly recommend. All right, cool. All right, you guys have a great afternoon. We'll see you tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, for Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week. And you rant along the way. I'll see you guys at 8 o'clock. Peace.
Finally